Happy Friday! We made it. Today we're going to do a quick review of some of the concepts we've been talking about in science this week. What better place to do a review than near some natural resources outside? Basement was getting a little cold actually, and this is the sunniest day of the week, I believe. Today, it's not Friday for me; it's a different day, but it is a very sunny, nice day. And started talking a lot about rocks and some people having beautiful rock collections. And I just want you to be able to identify different types of rocks, not by name, but by size, shape, and color. So if you happen to have some rocks outside and you're allowed to kind of just grab a rock or two, or maybe ask a family member to get one for you, it would kind of be nice to take a look at. And rocks can be very, very different. They can be very big, they can be very small, they can be very shiny, they can be not shiny at all. But they also can be small enough to fit inside your hand. And other rocks could be as big as a car. So rocks can be all different shapes and sizes, and we kind of know that. And they're made of something called minerals, which is kind of a difficult word, but we don't hide the big words from you guys. Minerals are, if you look closely at some of these rocks, you might see different colors. Each of those colors is the mineral part of the rock. Kind of interesting to know. So what are rocks made out of? Are they made out of plants and animals or minerals? Well, the correct answer would be minerals, because minerals are not from plants and animals, and that's what a mineral is, okay? How can rocks be different from other rocks? Well, they can be different by size, big or small. They could be different by shape, super bumpy rock, then like a super smooth rock. And they could also be different colors. Like we said, these minerals are the color parts of it. So then we moved on Tuesday we started talking more about erosion and how the rocks and soil can be changed. So rocks and soil can be changed by something called erosion. Now, erosion is basically when wind or water push rocks and soil out of the way. And one of the best ways I talked about remembering that would be at the beach. Sometimes I remember when I was a little kid going to my town beach, the beach would be, I would have to walk all the way to get to that water with my family. And I'd carry the sandwiches and the lemonade and the blankets and the Frisbees and all that stuff. So now, as soon as I park my car, I'm only, a couple hundred feet away from the beach. So things have changed. That's because of something called erosion, okay? And it really is the washing away of the soil or of the sand and moving it to somewhere else, maybe somewhere else that we don't want it. Most likely that's the case. We want it at the beach. We don't want it out in the ocean because we want to be able to put our blankets down. And when that water, and when the rocks and soil are moved away by water, it is called erosion. It could also be moved by other rocks. So erosion could be from wind, water, or other rocks. So one of the best ways to keep that from happening, stopping it, is something called plants and the roots. Plant roots are one of the ways to stop it from blowing away and being moved all around. Because plant roots are what holds the plant in the ground, but it also stops or prevents or slows down erosion from happening. So that's a really cool thing. So plant roots can be very helpful because they're very strong. And then we moved on to volcanoes and earthquakes and how they change the Earth's surface, the features of the Earth, and how they change the Earth, basically. And then we talked about those hot, liquid, erupting volcanoes and how they come down, dripping down the sides, super, super hot, a lot of fiery smoke. Breathing in that smoke is very, very dangerous. So if anybody was ever near an erupting volcano, you would have to move as far away as possible because A, the lava would burn and be super, super hot, melted rock, and also the smoke and the ash and all that stuff is very bad for things, parts of your body that you use to breathe, like your lungs. So lava is that hot stuff that when it comes out of the top of the peak of the mountain, the volcano, it erupts in that melted rock called hot lava. It's not going to stay hot forever. It cools down. When it cools down, it can build as big as a mountain, okay? And when it cools down, what does a melted rock turn into? Rock. So, and then we're going to move on back to the earthquakes. And earthquakes are when something under the ground shakes and rattles, and it feels to people who live near earthquake zones like the whole room is shaking, and you'll see things like falling off of shelves. I've never ever experienced that in 45 years of my life, but there are people and friends of mine that have, and they describe it as not being a very comfortable feeling, and just really don't have too much control over it. But just be safe. And a lot of times they say the safest way to keep your body and your family safe is go underneath furniture because of the things falling. So it's a little bit different from what we would do in a blizzard or a hurricane, but it's kind of interesting to know. Then we talked all about natural resources, and if you take a look right here, I'm sitting in a pile of wood. It's all around me. That's something I love. I love firewood, and it's not a very safe thing to be chopping these things, but I'm a grown-up and I know how to use the tools in the right way, and it does heat. This is a natural resource. The lumber from the trees, the wood from the trees is used to burn in my fireplace in my home. But lumber from trees can be used for many, many other things. Let's take a look at a tree, okay? Now, this was the tree that was chopped down, and this is a natural resource. And if you take a look at it really closely, all right, this is a big log, big piece of wood. It's not small, it's very big. But you could actually bring this to a special machine shop and they'll cut it just how you want it into other stuff. I'm trying to think of something that they would make out of lumber or wood used to build. I can't really think of anything. Can you guys think of something that we would use to make from wood? I don't know. Ah! Oh, wait a minute. This is a fence. Here's some lumber right here. You see the pickets? And this is the fence holder to hold all the fences together. There's fence all over the place. So fences are really important. Houses are really important to keep people need shelter. So homes and apartments and hotels and all these things are built with lumber or wood. And you might look at a piece like this and say, oh, how am I going to make this into a house? Well, think about the big piece I showed you, and think about taking it to a special shop and cutting it very special to in long pieces of what they call lumber, which is wood from trees made to use for building. But natural resources could be the heat from the sun. Natural resources could be water. Okay, we use the water that comes to the earth. Anything we use that comes from the earth is a natural resource. Okay. And we talked about the builder building the home, using the hammer and nails. That's really important. Last thing I'm going to leave you on is probably one of the most important, because I care about the earth and I want to keep it safe. I want to protect it. I don't want it to be damaged, and I don't want to live next to a garbage dump. I want to live next to trees. I want to live next to other houses, but not a garbage dump, because that's really, really stinky. So if we take care of the earth, that will take a lot longer of a time. And the best way to take care of the earth is by not being a litter bug and throwing your garbage in the garbage pails, but also by following the 3 R's. Reduce, reuse, recycle, okay? Reduce is to use less. Reuse is to use again, and recycle is to take old things and make new amazing things. And all of you, whether you realize it or not, you do these things. Do you ever brush your teeth and leave the water on while you go to get your pajamas? No, you shut the water off. And that's great because that's helping protect the earth. If we don't waste that water could be saved for the next day. And then we won't have to take more water from the earth. So you're always helping out if you're doing those 3 R's. I want you guys to have a super, super weekend. Kick back with the family and just enjoy yourself, all right? All right, guys. I appreciate your polite attention this week, and keep up the good work. I know everyone's working hard, and see you guys real soon. Adios.